Imagine you've spent, years mastering the physical skills of microbiology. You can streak a Petri dish perfectly. You're completely used to this world of glass tubes, microscopes, white coats, and gloves.
Yeah, it's a very hands-on environment.
Exactly. But today, your interviewer has no eyes, no hands, and has literally never stepped foot inside a laboratory. You have to prove your highly physical lab skills to an AI algorithm. So welcome to the session.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Today we are exploring a really fascinating shift in the scientific workplace. Specifically, we're looking at how you, the listener, can prepare for a Micro1 AI interview for microbiology roles.
Right.
These are jobs like lab technicians, research assistants, or quality control positions. But the interviewer is an AI, and her name is Zara.
It really is a massive shift, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, being interviewed by an algorithm for a hard science role, it feels almost backwards at
It
first.
totally does.
You spend years in a lab learning how to physically handle delicate samples. And now you find yourself just talking to a machine about it. But when you look closer, it's ultimately just a new, efficient way to share your domain knowledge. The machine is simply a tool to gather your expertise.
I mean, I understand the efficiency part, but I have to admit, it sounds a bit intimidating for the candidates.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, how does an AI even evaluate a physical skill? It doesn't have human intuition, right? It can't read between the lines. If you're nervous and you explain something awkwardly, a human interviewer might just smile and, get what you mean. But how does an AI handle that?
That is the perfect question to start with, because understanding how the AI listens is actually your biggest advantage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. An AI system like Zara reportedly uses natural language processing. So it doesn't listen to your story the way a human does. Instead, it appears to parse your speech for high-value keywords.
Keywords, okay.
Exactly. Concrete nouns and specific verbs. So if you say, I cleaned the lab space, a human knows what you mean. But the AI might score that low because it lacks technical detail.
Right, because cleaned is too vague.
Exactly. But if you say, I sterilized the laminar airflow hood using 70% ethanol, well, the AI reportedly detects multiple high-value keywords. And just to clarify, a laminar airflow hood is simply a clean, enclosed workspace used to handle sensitive samples safely.
Ah, I see. So the secret isn't just knowing the right answer. It's about feeding the AI the specific vocabulary it needs.
You hit the nail on the head.
So our mission today is to completely remove the mystery from this process for you listening right now. We're going to cover exactly what categories of questions you can expect from Zara and break down the best strategies for answering them confidently.
Sounds like a great plan.
So let's just jump right in. Where does the algorithm begin? What's the very first thing Zara wants to know?
Well, candidates report that Zara's questions usually fall into 6 main categories. It's kind of a journey. Naturally, it starts with your background and lab experience.
Okay, that makes sense. The AI needs a baseline. What kind of question might that be?
A really typical one might be something like, can you describe your past work in a microbiology lab?
Okay, so knowing what you just said about keywords, I imagine the worst thing you could do here is just be vague, right?
Oh, for sure.
You shouldn't just say, I did normal lab chores.
Absolutely not. Vague answers give the AI nothing to analyze. To succeed here, you need to be very specific. You should state your exact roles and mention the specific tools or software you used.
Like naming the actual machines.
Yes. Name the testing methods. Name the machines. If you used an autoclave, say the word autoclave. The AI is actively scanning your audio for those concrete details to prove you really have that real-world experience.
Okay, that's a great strategy. So once the algorithm has scanned your background and understands where you've been, where does it go next?
Once it knows your history, it reportedly tests what you actually retained from that experience. This brings us to category 2, which is core microbiology knowledge.
So this is where it tests basic science concepts.
Right. For example, Zara might ask, what is the difference between sterilization and disinfection?
Okay, let me put myself in the candidate's shoes for a second. If I hear that question, my first instinct is to over-explain to prove how smart I am.
Right, that's a common trap.
But with an AI, I should probably just be direct, right?
Very direct. Define the term simply and immediately. You'd want to state that sterilization is the complete destruction of all microbes. Nothing survives.
And then for disinfection?
You'd state that disinfection is simply reducing the number of microbes to a safe level, but not killing everything.
And to really secure those AI keyword points, you should probably drop in a real-world example right after that, right?
Oh, that's a brilliant strategy.
Like, you could mention the autoclave again. An autoclave is a machine that uses intense, high heat and pressure to literally destroy all germs. Mentioning it proves you understand true sterilization.
Exactly. And for disinfection, you could just mention wiping a lab bench with a chemical spray. It shows the AI you possess, both the textbook definition and the practical application.
I love that.
Yeah.
So simple, but effective. What comes after core knowledge?
Well, once you prove you know the science, the AI needs to know you won't be a danger in the lab. That leads into the third category, lab safety and technique.
Oh, safety is huge.
It's paramount in microbiology. You're dealing with living, sometimes dangerous organisms.
What kind of safety questions come up?
It looks for strict adherence to rules. A reported example from candidates is, how do you safely autoclave liquid media? And just for context, liquid media is the nutrient liquid used to grow bacteria in a lab.
Wait, if the AI doesn't have human context, how does it evaluate if I'm being safe? Like, what exactly is it listening for?
It's reportedly listening for sequence words and critical safety constraints. So when you hear a safety question, you must explain your process step by step.
Like, first I do this, second I do that.
Exactly. For the liquid media example, you must explain that you slightly loosen the bottle caps before putting them in the machine.
Because if you don't loosen the caps, the intense pressure will cause the bottles to explode, right?
Right. You should also mention that the bottle should only be half full so the liquid doesn't boil over.
That makes perfect sense. The AI is checking its database for the words loosen caps and half full. If it hears those, it knows you respect the standard operating procedures.
Precisely. It proves you're safe. Now, after safety, the AI typically moves to a more complex area. Category 4 is scenario or problem-solving questions.
Does Zara actually give you situational problems to solve?
Yes, it wants to know how you react when things inevitably go wrong in the lab.
I have to push back a little here, though. Can an AI actually evaluate my crisis management skills? It feels like handling a lab emergency requires, human judgment, not just a keyword checklist.
You're right that it requires human judgment.
Mm.
But the AI is evaluating the logical chain of your judgment.
Oh, I see.
Candidates report that Zara presents very realistic lab problems. A common one is, what do you do if you notice your bacterial culture is contaminated with the wrong bacteria?
Let's define those real quick. A culture is just a controlled environment where you are intentionally growing specific microbes.
Right.
And contamination just means unwanted, stray germs have accidentally entered that environment and ruined the experiment.
Exactly. So how would you answer that?
Well, if I'm in a panic because my experiment is ruined, I might just say, I would throw it all in the biohazard bin and start over. But I'm guessing the AI would score that as a failure.
It would likely score very low, yes.
Yeah.
The AI is evaluating your investigative logic. You need to keep calm and explain a logical fix.
So break it down for me. What are the steps?
First, state that you would immediately stop your work, to prevent spreading the problem. Next, explain that you would check your control samples to see if your entire batch of materials is ruined. And finally, state that you would investigate the source of the problem.
Like checking if the lab's air filters are failing or something.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
You're essentially providing the algorithm with a flowchart of your brain's troubleshooting process.
Oh, that is fascinating. Okay, what is the fifth category?
The fifth category might seem a bit out of place for a science role at first. It focuses on communication and documentation.
Okay, yeah. Why does an AI care about how I communicate or take notes? I mean, you're applying for a microbiology job, not a creative writing position.
It's a fair point. But consider the modern landscape of this work. Zara might ask, how do you record your daily lab results?
So why is that important to them?
Well, many of these roles involve remote data analysis, or gathering data specifically to train other AI models. Clear communication is absolutely vital. Plus, highly regulated science labs operate on one golden rule. If it isn't written down, it didn't happen.
I've heard that before. So the strategy here is to emphasize extreme accuracy.
Yes.
You should rely on that golden rule and explain that you take detailed, real-time notes and always double-check your data entries. You really want to prove that your data can be trusted.
Exactly. Good science is entirely dependent on reliable documentation. And that brings us to the sixth and final common category, motivation and role fit.
Will the AI actually ask about my career goals?
It will. Zara might ask, why do you want to do this kind of remote microbiology work?
This feels like the one area where an AI might really struggle to measure human sincerity. Like, how should you even approach this?
Authenticity still translates into data, believe it or not. The best strategy is just to be honest. Connect your answer to your real passion for science.
So you could explain that you love sharing your expertise, or that you're genuinely excited to help train modern AI models using your scientific background.
Exactly. Just be clear and direct about your actual motivations.
It seems like the overarching theme across all these categories is clarity.
For sure.
The AI is trying to build a complete, data-driven profile of you as a scientist. So now that we understand the types of questions, let's shift gears and talk about the actual execution. How do you successfully speak to an AI system without tripping it up?
The primary strategy here is to be highly structured and direct. Think about how a newspaper article is written.
So headline first.
Exactly. You give the most important point first, and then you provide the supporting evidence below it. Candidates reportedly do best when they lead with their main point immediately.
I can see why that's crucial. If you start with a long, wandering introduction like, well, back in college I took this one class and then one time in the lab, a human might smile and listen, but the AI is probably searching frantically for the core answer and failing to find it.
Yes. Wandering introductions confuse the software. Give the answer immediately, then explain your reasoning. Give specific, concrete examples from real lab experience when possible.
Okay, headline first, then evidence. Got it. What is the next strategy?
The second critical strategy involves navigating the technology itself, specifically something called voice activity detection.
Oh, this is the part that stresses me out the most. It appears Zara uses this voice detection to know when you are done talking, right?
Yes. The AI is constantly monitoring your audio wave. When that audio wave flatlines for more than a second or two, the system's programming assumes your answer is complete, and it just moves on to the next question.
Wait, really? So if I get a tough question and I just sit in silence for 3 seconds to think about my answer, the AI might cut me off and log a completely blank answer.
It reportedly can, yes.
Yeah.
Which is why you have to manage your vocal pacing. You must speak at a steady, calm pace. Do not rush, but more importantly, avoid overly long moments of dead air.
That feels incredibly stressful. What happens if Zara asks a highly technical question and my mind goes completely blank? What do I do to keep the audio active while I try to remember the science?
Well, the worst thing you could do is guess wildly. The AI cross-references your answer with factual databases, so it will detect incorrect technical information instantly.
So honesty is the best policy.
Absolutely. But there is a very helpful trick. Briefly restate the question in your own words.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. If the AI asks about a specific bacteria, you can say, when considering the growth factors of that specific bacteria, this keeps the microphone active and gives your brain a crucial 3 seconds to catch up.
And what if I still just don't know the answer?
Then explain your reasoning process. Talk through how you would find the answer in a real lab setting. It shows problem-solving skills instead of just guessing.
That is such a powerful technique. Restating the question feeds the algorithm continuous audio data while buying you human thinking time.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to actually demonstrate how all of this comes together. Let's do a mini role play.
I love this idea. I'm ready.
I will play the part of Zara, the AI interviewer. I'll adopt a polite, professional, but slightly robotic tone. You play the candidate.
Sounds good.
Hello. How do you ensure your laminar airflow hood, the clean, enclosed workspace for handling samples, is working properly before use?
First, I check the digital air pressure gauge to ensure the airflow is at the correct velocity. Second, I ensure the internal UV light has been running for at least 15 minutes to kill any surface microbes.
Okay, let's do one more. What happens if you over-decolorize during a gram stain? And just a quick note for you listening, a gram stain is a very common lab test used to color and identify different types of bacteria.
If I leave the decolorizer on for too long, gram-positive bacteria will lose their color. They will falsely appear gram-negative, which gives a false identification result.
Okay, stepping out of the Zara persona completely, that was incredibly precise.
Thank you.
I mean, you didn't just say the test gets ruined. You explained the mechanism clearly, mentioning gram-positive and gram-negative. You proved real-world competence using simple English.
Right, you want to keep it accessible but technically accurate. The goal is ultimate clarity. Make it as easy as possible for the AI to recognize your expertise.
So, as we bring this session to a close, I really hope you listening are feeling much more equipped. Yes, the format of this interview is strange. Explaining manual physical laboratory skills to a piece of software named Zara takes some mental adjustment.
It definitely does.
But at its core, it is still a real interview. Your domain knowledge, your clarity, and your steady confidence are what matter most.
That is absolutely true. Preparation is everything here.
Exactly. So, to leave you with a highly actionable reminder before your interview, sit in a quiet room with a stable internet connection. Test your microphone to ensure your audio is crisp. And most importantly, practice speaking your answers out loud.
Yes, practicing out loud is huge. It prevents those awkward silences that might trigger the AI to move on early.
Thank you so much for joining us for this session, and good luck out there.